your food in there. And you can also, it'll have videos of the exercise that I want you to do. So anybody's interested in going to my app, they can contact me at 832-453-8600, and then I can hook you up with the app.
Now, another question I have to ask you, because I have friends that have been going through this, is you talked about the age. Now, sometimes women in particular, but men even as well, will sometimes get caught up in, they will have a major weight gain because of the hormone things that go on in our body. Mm-hmm. We have hormone changes, which impacts our weight. So how do you deal with that if you're talking to somebody that might be dealing with those issues as well? Because I know a lot of people that have gained weight of different sorts and may have only gained 10 or 15 pounds, or they may have gained much more, but it's because of things that have happened to them on a hormonal level, because we all know that our body changes as we age. So what are some of the things that you tell them to cope with those things that might be gaining weight because of the aging process?
Right. Well, the first thing is I need to ask you that when was the last time you visited your doctor? So if you're having issues and you think they're hormonal, first of all, the word is, are you sure it's a hormonal issue? Because you should have done a visit to your doctor to see if that is the issue. A lot of times, I need to be real honest, as we get older, we do not change the way we eat. Let me say that again. As we get older, we do not change the way we eat. You cannot eat the same way you did when you were 20 and 30 and now you're in your 50s. It doesn't work like that. The body is not going to respond the same way. You're not moving around like you used to. Your metabolism has slowed down. So what you need to do is change the way you eat first. Look at the way you eat. You can't eat fried foods morning, noon, and night. You can't have red meat morning, noon, and night. You can't have all this sugar and all these carbs, all this bread. You have to change your diet. That doesn't mean you have to starve, and it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy life. It means that I now have to plan better and change the foods that I eat, and I need to move my body. You can't come home from work at 5 o'clock and plant yourself on the end of your couch, eat food, eat mashed potatoes, eat steak and gravy every night, and then go to bed. Well, that's not going to work. Now, you might have been able to do that when you was 20 years old, but you can't do that now.
And what do you think about people that get caught up in the specialty diets? Because you got people that get caught up, whether it's keto, whether it's Atkins, whether it's whatever. But it seems to me that a lot of these people, I'm not saying all, but a lot of these people leave out the very important part, which you just mentioned, which is the exercise component. Because it seems to me that you have to have both. You can diet, but you also need to have an exercise component.
Right. So, let me tell you about that. Anything that comes off quickly is going to come back on quickly. So you lose 20 pounds in 20 days. Well, you're going to gain 40 pounds in 10 days, right? It's going to come back on just as fast. So if you are not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to have I always say the praise through the patience. Praise through the patience and take your time and lose this weight the correct way, it's going to come back fast because you are learning a new lifestyle. You are not trying to diet. You are learning a new lifestyle. And so I don't believe in fad diets. That's just for me. One of the things that I do know that has worked, and it did work for me, is that Weight Watchers. And because what Weight Watchers does, and I'm not a big promoter of Weight Watchers, I'm just telling you what I did, it taught me how to eat in moderation. And I was able to eat anything that I wanted in moderation. The word is moderation. I can't have hamburgers every day, all day, but I might be able to have one once a week. You see what I'm saying? So it's about learning how to eat. And if you have a job where you're stationary, you cannot eat a whole bunch of food sitting down all day long.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Portions of food.
And one of the other things I think sometimes is they get too caught up in just one form of exercise. I know that I have some pounds that I need to take off. Not a massive amount, but probably about, if I was to guess, 20, 25 pounds, maybe 30. But I know that I have that, but I also walk a lot. I've walked all of my life. I walk a lot. Like I said, I'm a mass transit person, so I do a lot of walking. And when I tell friends that I'm walking, they also look at me and they're like, but you still have that tummy and everything. So they're amazed at that. But it occurs to me that one of the things I need to do is I need to probably invest in like these Lime bikes or these bikes that are like, they're basically bike share programs that are around here in Durham that you can jump on a bike if you got the credit card or whatever. You can ride wherever you want to, or get into gyms and things of that nature. So I realized that I probably need to do more than one style of exercise. The walking is fine. It probably helps me with some of the breathing and some of the other things that I I'm doing pretty well health-wise on, but it's not impacting the total health thing. The thing to me that you need to have a total health program, and I think that sometimes we get caught up in only one aspect. It might only be jogging, it might only be walking, but it seems that that's one of the downplays that we have is that we don't do enough of a true weight program.
Right, I agree. You need to have a full body, a full program, cardio and strength training. As we get older, our bones get brittle. We have to be real careful about what we do. And then the other thing is, too, I do a lot of what I call non-traditional cardio. I might do some jump rope, then I do some jumping jacks, then I might flip a tire or two, so I do a lot of non-traditional cardio because I get bored very easily. And so I don't always want to be on a treadmill or always want to be on the elliptical. So you want to shock your body and do a lot of different variations of cardio.
Because I imagine one of the other things that you have to do is you have to, because I think sometimes we also get caught up in only wanting to deal with only one aspect of our being. Because like I said, we might be, I know some people that are very much into their exercise program. They have great in terms of their physical well-being. They're not all that great in terms of their mental well-being. They're not all that great in terms of their spiritual well-being. They're not all that great in terms of some of the other well-beings that exist in us and everything. So I was wondering, is that something that you also encourage people is to be not just doing the exercise, but also to be well-read? Like, do things that might exercise their brain in addition to exercising their body.
Well, like I said, we're about mind, body, and spirit. And first of all, without the spirit, you're not going to do anything because you're not going to be strong enough. I believe in the God of my understanding, and without Him, I can't do any of these things. So I need to be connected. And that's the person and the situation for me that's going to get me past all the hard workouts. And then when you start talking about your mind, you should be a reader. You should continue to want to educate yourself. Because if you have children, you want to tell your kid, you need to always explore higher education, but yet you won't even get off the couch. You won't even take your child to the library, right? So you can't preach what you're not willing to do. And for me as a trainer, there's nothing I'm going to tell you to do that I can't do, right? So that the mind, the body, and the spirit goes together when you start talking about losing weight and having a well-rounded life. A well-rounded life. All of it goes together. So, yes, I encourage all of that.
And speaking of a well-rounded life, just out of curiosity, how do you deal with these new addictions that are out there? Like I said, I'm actually sitting here watching the TV, and there's, of course, an ad. You just mentioned an app, and, of course, everybody's into Facebook, Instagram, all the wonderful things that are out there. They help us even with our social media in terms of getting this program information out there so the folks can know to be on the show and to be involved with the show and everything. But how do you deal with people that are into what some people might consider new addictions? Because, yes, there is such a thing as an internet addiction. Yes.
These new addictions are the worst to me because you see people driving their cars, texting and reading Facebook and on Instagram. And I always tell my competitors when it's time we get close to the show, stay off of Instagram and Facebook because I don't believe that a lot of the stuff they read or see other competitors, they're not necessarily doing natural competitors. Some people take steroids, some people do stuff. When you start talking about too much TV, too much internet, too much porn, too much any of that takes away from the real caliber of who you really are. You waste more time on Instagram and Facebook and don't interact with your family. That's ridiculous. You go home and interact and do all this Facebook and all this other stuff, but you don't interact with your children. So those addictions right there, they have meetings for that too. They have meetings for everything.
Well, we've actually joked about this, and I'm going to bring a certain politician in, but I personally believe that person that sits in the White House probably needs to go to Twitter's Anonymous.
I agree. Nobody who has that much time. And why? You know what my mom used to say? Everything does not warrant a response. Everything does not warrant a response. Just because somebody writes something about you or say something, you don't have to respond to everybody. People are entitled to their opinion. But I don't have to respond every time somebody writes something negative or say something negative. We'd be too busy. Yeah, so he definitely needs therapy.
Yeah, definitely probably needs some therapy himself as well. There's some other addictions that we believe, both me and Dean, he has as well. Not sure what they are, but we're sure that he has various kinds of addictions. But definitely the Twitter is no doubt one of them that particular person sitting in the White House has. That at least that's our opinion. I don't think D, would you argue with me on that one, D? Dean has disappeared.
Oh no, I'm here, bro. I'm here. What's going on?
I said we were talking about different addictions, and I was saying that I think the president has a Twitter addiction.
He has a breathing addiction. You know what I mean? He just needs to go somewhere and crawl into a hole and just live there and count what money he has and become a hermit, man. He would do the whole world a favor.
Definitely, I agree with you on that.
Become a hermit.
Yeah. And Verna, if our Houston lady decides to come to North Carolina, I don't know what we'll bring her here, but if she decides to come to North Carolina and want to get in touch with the Raven Studio, how would she get in touch with the Raven Studio and what will eventually be the Raven Wellness Center? So how would she get in touch with you if she's interested, or even if y'all just want to exchange emails, y'all can do that on the show right now as well. So how would one reach you? And even if there's folks listening that might want to learn more about native dance and just native wellness and things of that nature, how would
or if they wanted to book us for a performance as well, because we do have a traveling dance troupe. We actually performed in Durham not too long ago at the Merck. They make medicines there. It was really awesome for Native American Month. But the Raven Street Dance Studio is it's on Facebook under Raven Studio. We also have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to. We have all kinds of different videos on there where if you're not local to us, if you wanted to learn more, you can watch some of our classes right there on the YouTube channel. Number 22955-2150, or you can just hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. Try to get back. I'm not an expert. I do keep in touch, with the social media. And yes, I definitely will be hitting Miss Felicia, because I that's so awesome to hear that she started this gym. That's really awesome. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
I can't wait. Yeah. I'm gonna write it down. The women's, what was it called? The women's what?
It's called the Women's Health and Fitness Center.
Health and Fitness Center. That's great.
And Felicia, tell us a little bit, if you want to, we still got about another 10 or 15 minutes, but I would love to hear some more of the stories that you share in the book. So, like I said, we mentioned that you went into one of them, but if there's any certain passage or any certain, but I also believe there was a certain Bible passage when I was reading your bio that inspired you as well. So I was wondering if you would share what that Bible passage was, and also if there's any other particular stories that you want to share with folks about some of the lessons that you learned that helped you as you got out of this whole addiction.
Yeah, there's so many things, and I think I said this before, and I'll always say this, is that my past dictates my present, and what it has done is it allowed me to be the individual that I am. And in the book, not only do I apologize to myself and to my family, but I talk about, the person who introduced me to the drug. And let me say this, in here, I talk about him, but I don't talk about him in a bad way, because he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't force me into doing anything. And a lot of people always want to look at an addict as if somebody made them do something. But I have a passage, it's Luke 17:3-4. Pay attention to yourself. If your brother sins, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. And if he sins against you 7 times in the day and turns to you 7 times saying, I repent, you must forgive him. And so some people have an issue with forgiveness, because we don't forgive ourselves first. And so let me say that again. Before I can forgive anybody in any circumstance, I have to forgive myself for the part I played in anything. Because it takes 2 to tango. It takes 2. And so I have forgiven myself for operating in the disease of addiction. See, I operated in the disease then. And so we say in recovery, I'm not responsible for my addiction, but I am responsible for my recovery. And so I'm responsible for living a productive life, for being a productive member of society. I'm responsible for that now. in the height of my addiction, I couldn't be responsible for anything because I was not in my right frame of mind. You know, but right now, as we stand with